Green Bay is a small town, only 100,000 people. Those 100,000 people may be different in many ways, but there's one thing that brings them all together: the Green Bay Packers. In Titletown, the blue-collar city only knows hard work, tailgating, championships, but more importantly, they know family.
We have a saying in this town: faith, family, and the Green Bay Packers are all that you need. Sanjay and I grew up in Green Bay. You could say that we are Green Bay, or even better, the voices of Green Bay. We bring a local feel of Packer fandom to a worldwide audience.
Friendship, family, and football.
Ladies and gentlemen,
This is the Freezer Podcast. What is up? We are back. This is the Freezer Podcast, where we bring you a local feel of Packer fandom to a worldwide audience. Alongside me, like always, and finally back again, is Fred and Matt, the three of us. The Stooges are all here for you guys on 8 o'clock on a Tuesday. Thank you guys for joining us. Sorry that we couldn't do a show for you guys. We're just under the weather kind of thing. And, honestly, you probably didn't even need to see us after that dismal loss. So, or it's not. Yeah, actually, that was the win. No, that was the win, because we didn't get to roast someone, Matthew Ryan.
What are you talking
Well,
Go at him, get him.
I mean, you're just like a Milwaukee ticket holder. You know that?
You still don't know what happened. You like to think you do.
So show me the proof. Show me the proof you were there. Tell me.
What do you mean I tailgated with you?
All right, hold on.
Go ahead.
Backstory here. We're all at the game. Sanjay's got his bird's eye view. I'm about halfway down. Matt's sitting in his luxury seats a little lower. At one point, Matt is nowhere to be found. This was like mid-second quarter, maybe?
No.
Absolutely.
Fourth quarter.
Radio silent.
Just saying, we don't know where he went. He claims he was like in the box with Charles Woodson or something. We don't know what really happened. We just know he
He saw my jersey. He's like, get up out here, man.
That can clear this up is Kara. You know what? That's the only person. I mean, home opener.
Good thing she took my last name.
Home opener and Matt.
Hey, you know what? Big shout out though, because Jeff, that our fan that we have on our show came up to me. There he is. Look at that right here, right on cue.
Look at
Him and his son come up to me.
It's like you staged it.
And he said,
"This is ridiculous.
I cannot believe it." I'm like, he comes up to me. I'm next to my brother-in-law. And he's like, "Hey, are you Sanjay from the Freezer Podcast?" At that moment, I was like, "Wow!" First off,
Sanjay's like, you could kill me right now. My dad went to heaven.
So awesome to meet you. I really, honestly, it's awesome that we have fans like you guys. It really is, because if this is a show that you want to listen to each and every week, it really does bring a purpose to us. I mean, we kind of just see it as, hey, we're just talking some Pack. We're doing this for Jeff. Yeah, I believe it.
Jeff Lincolnheld, which is a cool last name as well.
That is actually, yeah. So thank you so much, Jeff. Really, it is awesome to meet you. I'm glad. Sucks that we couldn't, go home victorious. But hey, it's okay. You know what? We're all Packer fans. Hey, you know what? Slight other news. It's Dame time, boys. It is Dame time. I know we're a Packer show, but we have to at least announce something as big as that happens. So that's awesome for the Bucks. Brewers, it's not so great right now. Down 4-3, I believe. So hopefully they can turn it around. Yeah. But we have Packer talk to kind of go over. Yes, it was a pretty miserable loss, but if there could be any if there could be any silver lining, Matthew,
how about not silver, because the Lions have silver?
Yeah. Green lining.
Golden lining.
Hey, I'm going to say this right now. Josiah DeGuara got way too many catches, and then Anders Carlson, still perfect. So go ahead, Matthew. I'll let you take it away.
We talk about the Lions game, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if there's a green lining, if there's a green lining.
Well, you know what? I don't think. I think the green lining here is that maybe it could have been finally the final outing of. I should say the final outing, but Joe Barry finally really getting the tides turned on him with his last few, people that were kind of sticking up for him, because it's kind of getting to the point where you can't anymore. because this defense is just getting steamrolled by anybody and everybody, all at once. And I think that'll probably lead our discussion today, because I know we kind of talked off air that we didn't want to dive into quarter by quarter. The game was last Thursday. People have kind of dissected it from there. Not a lot to lean on offensively. I mean, we'll go over that too, but slow start again, just didn't look very inspired. I'm trying to keep the offensive side though a little bit in check, because they're just ravaged by injuries to key players. I mean, what can you really expect out of an offense who's got a first-time starter and they're trotting out Royce Newman and Rasheed Walker and Josh Myers, and that left side of the line is getting blown up. I mean, everybody's kind of seen some of the all 22 stuff of that crew. So you kind of start to understand that, boy, Jordan Love wasn't looking his best self against the Lions. And defensively, I don't really know what to say anymore about him. I mean, there's no excuse at this point. It's like 8 first-round picks on that side of the ball. Matt LaFleur, went on a limb, brought Joe Barry back. Everybody promised changes, and through 4 weeks, it's the same thing.
Why did it have to be go out on a limb? You just said that right there. Go out on a limb? I'm sorry. You're the head coach. And you're just we didn't get the guy that we wanted, right? I think it was Jim Leonard. And so we just took, second fiddle. I'm sorry. This is a professional football team. If he's not the right guy for the job, never give it to him just because he was a great guy. He interviewed really well. Good.
That only goes so far, apparently, being a good guy. But why? And then watching his press conference this week, just didn't do anything. I mean, it made it worse. It's
just a lot of things. It's not just clueless. One thing.
Of course, it's a lot of things. You spent 2 years not fixing any of them, so it's a lot of things.
It's one thing for sure. It's you.
That's the one common denominator. So we can break it down, guys. But I mean, there's a lot of stuff on that side of the ball that needs addressing. Really? And I mean, first of all, they need to get a little bit healthier. But I don't know what they're going to do about the run defense. You're not going to add a bunch of new guys. Right. What do you do? Is it scheme? Do you have to just get rid of what you've been doing and build it back up? I mean, Fred, what do you think? Sanjay, what do you think?
Go ahead, Fred. Go ahead.
No, I mean, I think there's a lot of external things here, right? Like, obviously, shitty play. There's no doubt that we could have played better. There's things there that we can obviously improve on. But for me, this is not me trying to save Joe Barry, because he can be gone by 100 miles. But there's a lot of injuries. It's a crazy short week. You didn't have, some of your best players defensively. You didn't have your leader in Devondre Campbell. You didn't have a guy like Jair. Right. There's just a lot of factors defensively that I don't think were good. Plus, not to mention, it's probably time to stop treating the Detroit Lions like the Detroit Lions, right? These are this is a legit squad. Like, I'm not ever going to be impressed with Goff, but I think Goff is a great Trent Dilfer-esque 2.0. They got a good offense. They got some good weapons defensively. I mean, Aiden Hutchinson is better than I would have probably ever thought he'd ever be professionally. I knew he'd be good, but I didn't think he was going to be like JJ Watt-esque, like maybe historically really good. And then offensively, again, massive amount of injuries, super young team. I think my biggest gripe, defensively, again, would be the coaching. It's Joe Barry. And then my biggest gripe offensively would have been coaching in LaFleur's system and what he was running. I don't think it's really a lot to blame on the players. I think, we were kind of playing our B squad for the most part, especially on the offensive line, against a, like I said, very good defensive front. So I just didn't really like what they came out with, right? Like, I didn't like what LaFleur came out with. It felt stale. It felt very vanilla-ish. And it was like, where is this offense? I feel like we've been talking about, I've been talking about for a very long time. Where is that Shanahan-esque type offense? And I don't want to just see wrinkles every 1 or 2 plays every quarter or half. I want to see it consistently. And then not only that, I also think that to be totally honest, I think that this team mailed the last 2 weeks in, going into this long session, going into the Monday night and then the bye. I think it's just been a big we're just going to try to get healthy so that come week 6 or whatever, we'll be good to go. Yeah. I don't know if that's the right attitude, but I can see something behind that. But I just felt like feel like we weren't ready and prepared at all for that game.
No, and I think that's probably what I took away the most. Now that I'm kind of looking back on this, I tried to block all this out since it's been a couple of days, but I felt like they had no juice. And by the way, the Lions are also coming off on a short week too, and they looked ready to go.
Yes.
They were calm, they were steady, they were consistent, and they were tough. And again, when the Packers play physically dominant teams, they get pushed around and bullied, and they don't usually respond well. And the Lions are another case of that. And they're going to have to deal with these guys for quite a while now because they've built a nice roster full of dudes that are looking to brawl and have a chip on their shoulder. And I think they might have arguably the best offensive line in football. And, you know, we may not think Jared Goff's all that great, but when you give him time, he'll find the guy and he'll make the pass and do so, you know, pretty accurately. So I think that's my issue on offense is they had absolutely no juice. And then they just got pushed around in defense. And Fred, to your point, I think a lot of it is due to injuries, but even when they're healthy, it's like we don't really see much difference unless they're playing the Bears, who are awful, and then they look great. So we all got kind of duped into that. And then 3 weeks later, here we are going, holy shit, like they're getting steamrolled again. So I think there's something to that. And that's been a thing about LaFleur teams since he's been here is they, in some of these big games or against physical opponents, they shy away and they get punched in the mouth and they don't come back from it. And was the case against the Lions. They didn't come back.
But this has been like 10 years. I feel like it's just like the same 3-4 scheme. And then you see the stands, the stand shot or the still shots, right? Against the Falcons, against the Lions. It's like, they're just begging for us to run on them with nickel coverage, and you have like 3 down linemen, and it's just like I really, honestly, tell me a good 3-4 defense that's like, you know, top 5 or top 10 in rush defense. I really want to know, because if there is more 3-4 defenses or, you know, that kind of formation, then I'll shut up. But I can't imagine there's too many, because I feel like more of like your Tampa or your 4-3 are probably a little bit more stout because you don't have those open holes right away.
Yeah, I think the 3-4 like took a lot of popularity, I don't know, maybe 7-8 years ago. And that was like the thing, right? Everybody was transitioning into 3-4 defenses. Maybe
because they like the edge rushers. I get it.
Yeah, maybe that was longer than like
standing
7
up
years. But anyway, that I feel like it's sort of transitioning again. Like we're in a different set of scheme here where we're not going to leave that so open on that D line. And if you have to have the right personnel to be able to do so, right, with that linebacking core. And I just feel like it's just not there. And Joe Barry just sucks when it comes to trying to figure that out. But I want to touch one more point on what you said, Matt, real quick see, now I forgot it. Damn it. See, I was trying to think about
it. The mouth energy.
No, I was thinking about, you were talking about the Jared Goff thing. Oh no, I was going to say this. So what I wanted to actually tip my hat in genuine respect to the Lions because of what they've done, in the sense of, we look around, like Chicago is a perfect example of this, right? Save your quarterback, save your quarterback, save your quarterback. No offense and defensive line. Detroit went out and drafted such trench-worthy guys, right? The Aiden Hutchinsons, the Senate or the Puels, the
Penei Sewell.
Frank
Ragnow. They got all these offensive guys.
Yeah, all these fantastic, and they drafted a lot of offensive linemen. A lot of guys for a very long time. A lot of them didn't work out, but they have this great trench, both offensively and defensively. And that's where you get your success from, right? Then you can plug in a guy like a Jared Goff and not have to focus so much on like, who's our next savior? Whereas like Chicago's like, no, we're just going to draft Justin Fields and then we're going to have a shit offensive line. We're going to have a shit defensive line. And we're just going to hope that, you know, he can figure it out. And I just feel like it's
but
nice
we have a good offensive line. That's the thing though. Like our offensive line is probably,
they need to dress though. They got to be up.
I'm not saying we don't. I'm just saying props to Detroit for finally, after 100 million years, figuring out, hey, maybe we should start doing that, because it is something that we do. That's why Green Bay has been historically successful since, we'll call the 80s, because of the fact that we've been able to address and have good offensive line. We draft great offensive linemen, and then defensive linemen, we get decent here and there, but that's obviously
and one last point on that is credit to the Lions on top of that of staying patient. They could have easily panic drafted a quarterback any of the last couple of years, because I don't think when they took on Goff, they viewed him much more as a bridge QB. But I think he put a lot of that worry to rest for the Lions by not turning the ball over and running their offense. That allowed them to go draft all these beef guys in the up front. and they've done it the right way. And that's why I think they're built. They're not going to be a flash in the pan. That's going to be a team that's going to stick around for a bit.
Hitting on Amon Ra
play for a couple. He can.
Too.
I was just going to say that was an absolute beauty of a pick. But yeah, Goff doesn't have to be a whole lot, and they don't have to really worry about, like, I don't think Goff is going to go in there and be like, I need a 7-year, $400 million contract. I think it's pretty basic. And even if they do, even if Goff is the guy to eventually be like, well, listen, we can't afford it, we got to let him go. I think the nucleus and everything that they need to have there is there, that they can probably go plug and play another vet-esh type quarterback, and not have to really worry about it. Or they run Goff for a couple years, and then they run like Hayden Hooker in 3 years, and they're a beast of a team. Who knows? I don't know.
Well, I mean,
answer Blaine's question real quick here.
Yeah, Bach is done. Out for the year. It sounds like he needs
no, but he's asking, is he done though? Like
with the Packers.
Team. Yeah, I think so. I mean, Blaine's.
I don't know. I don't know how it works all contract wise. I know we owe him a lot, so I don't know if you can trade him without losing anything next year, or if you just have to eat the cap, and even if you try.
But like mentally, do you think that Bakhtiari genuinely wants to come back?
Or he said he did. He says he wants to be ready for 2024.
Of course, he's going to say that. He's not going to say.
Okay, right. Okay, but what am I supposed to say? Not take his word for it?
No, of course not. Why would you? The guy hasn't said a single fucking true statement in weeks.
Whoa!
I'm just saying. Do you think that he's probably at a point where he's going to look at the end of the year and say, "Hey, I'll give you guys whatever money you need back. Get me out of here. I want to go play with my butt buddy in New York."
Can he even do that?
Well, I think he can do whatever he wants.
I mean, I think it's already I guess he could restructure it in some way, shape, or form. But here's the thing: if Rasheed Walker ain't it, and Yosh Nijman ain't it, obviously Zach Tom, can only play one side. So if you don't have a tackle, is it a necessity?
Well, I think that's first round, right? That's first round for us next year.
Yeah, I think you're looking at O-line.
Oh, shocker.
Real quick.
But I'm not a pro football focused guy, so I don't follow that stuff. But I mean, it sounds like Rasheed Walker's doing okay. Like he's not just totally getting beat by a drum. He's kind of hanging in there. I don't know. I mean, enough to kind of at least go make you feel okay. I think they should put Yosh in there. I think he's one of the best 5. And
okay. Well, who did Rasheed Walker have to block on a short week in third?
Aiden Hutchinson.
I mean, I'm sure Aiden
no one is going to be
give me a top
running
around.
I mean,
tackle that can block that. I don't know ain't going to happen, but I'm just saying that's a big.
Well, getting Jenkins back is huge because that is extra exposed when it's Royce Newman in there.
Yeah, exactly. The other guys on Royce Newman off the line is already a win. I mean, I said it.
Why is he on the team? What else do you need to see that guy?
Why is Sean Ryan not even getting looks? I'm sorry.
I want to know
the clips that
he's the third rounder,
seen from Andy Herman or any of these guys that clearly show this guy's an idiot on the line and just doesn't know he's not athletic. It really isn't. And so I'm sure they see the same film as us in that $1 billion organization, and yet they're still just trotting him out there you're good.
Do you think their woes up front, going into the game, is why this Aaron Jones didn't? I don't know why they activated. Why they even activated him in the game? He barely touched the ball. But the more I think about it, well, maybe it's because they weren't they can't block for shit up front for run blocking, particularly if their starters out.
But you see it too, though, Matthew. Every time I see Aaron Jones run the ball, even if it's for 2 yards, it looks way better when he does it than any other the running back. And it looks like he's a running back. And that's the thing. He can break, even if it's no room at all. There's not a hole. There's not even a lane to go run through. I feel like he knows how. He just has the instinct. He has that it factor that he can bounce it out.
Vision.
He's like a Barry, man. He really, I really do. And I don't want to put that in that universe. I'm not saying he's Barry, but he's got that kind of ability. And I just think at what point do you just say, fuck it, let him go, let him try? I mean, yes, the run game's not working, but it's working better than 5 times in the game. Sorry. I guess, was it 10 carries total? 1 for each or 5 for each?
It wasn't enough. I mean, but the problem they're down. So they run 12 plays and they were down 24 to something. I mean, they were just getting completely ran out of the building before they even kind of knew what was going on. But you started
the first 2 possessions. First 3 possessions were no run plays.
So they're just passing the ball. Exactly.
Even when you get that gift wrap interception to start the game, you went 3 passes in a row, kick the field goal like that.
This is why people are getting, have been frustrated with LaFleur. It's you keep saying one thing in your press conferences and to Aaron Andrews on the sideline when you walk out at halftime, and then when it comes to having to call the plays, you do the opposite. You don't do it. So which one is it? And I think we all know which one he should be doing.
I think he gets nervous. I think he like goes in probably with a certain game plan and then like goes all water boy coach on you and like freaks out and can't handle it. I don't get it. Like you have all these incredible weapons and the right personnel to run exactly what. And I know
don't overthink
beat this like an old dead horse, but the exact personnel and offense to run what San Francisco's running, and yet you panic and you resort to we're gonna toss it 48 times with it. Like, what are you doing? Like maybe it, I don't want to say this, but maybe it wasn't Rodgers. Maybe Rodgers wasn't always audibling out of everything, because now we're seeing a quarterback who's probably following the rules, and we're seeing again what 3 straight drives with passes and no runs.
Well, and I'm like,
normally we would have been like, Rodgers probably autos, but autos, like,
well, probably, but it's also like he's coaching the team like he still has Aaron Rodgers. Buddy, you don't. You got to turn it around and hand the ball off to Aaron Jones. That is going to be how you guys succeed this year. You aren't going to
beginning of the year.
You're not going for 300 a year.
Exactly. Right. You said that he's the guy that this offense is going to focus around. So
yeah, that's been a lie. We've determined that is a lie.
But okay, also, I mean, with the play calling though, like I'm also curious to know, like, first 6 plays, all exactly. First 2 possessions. So it's like that to me. But is Jordan Love really like,
I thought we were going to talk about the Lions game the whole time, guys. What the fuck's going on?
Okay, all right. But one thing we do have to mention, we don't have to talk about that, but the field sucks. I don't know, but our field kind of sucks. And they tell us fans that we can't go on the field with our sneakers on. It's like, I'm sorry. Why don't you fix your field a little better? Because every time I see our pass, our quarterback going out there and he slips.
It's just us with the line stripping. No,
right.
The turf team.
Hey, how old are you that you consider them sneakers? What are you, like 80-year-old?
You want me to say tennis shoes? Tennis shoes?
Tennies?
Shoes. Or tennies.
Classify the shoe.
Yeah.
Am I wearing cleats? Am I wearing dress shoes?
Hey guys, you want to go out there in our sneakers later?
Am I watching? Am I wearing Crocs? Hey, shout out to the Croc company for sponsoring
Crocs all day, baby. Don't even mess with the Crocs.
I know. I do need to get a pair.
I bought my first pair of Croc sandals, and they are the truth. I'll give you that.
They are
that. Matt, come on. Okay. Sandals? What?
Oh, dude, you don't even have a pair, so you can't even attest to it.
Yeah, but like,
B, when you put them on, you'll understand.
I'm pretty sure the whole reason that the Croc invention was made was for that heel, and like to know that you could slip on and have that backing of the heel. What's the point in the sandal?
It's a sandal, but they're Crocs.
Yeah, why?
Talking about?
I have sandals. What?
See,
what is fair?
You don't know until you know.
Fourth quarter, huh?
You just got to know. You just got to know.
Yeah, you were there.
Yeah, thank you, Neil. Anyway, let's move on. Listen, Detroit game, absolute shit show. Not what we wanted to do. A lot of injuries. Short week. I'm going to make all those excuses. We gotta have a bounce back game again on Monday night here. Long week going into it.
Yeah.
Should see some guys back. Should see some talent back.
Are we though?
Las Vegas, potentially not. I don't know what's the word on Devontae. I'm not sure.
Jimmy G may not play. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, this should be, by all accounts, it would be a great comeback type game.
They might not even need them if it's Josh Jacobs running.
I'm just saying. What do you got for this week here?
Hey, so I'll be in Vegas. I will be at this game. So that's 3 in a row for me. I've never done this before. 3 games.
Wow, that's crazy.
I know, and I'm done. I think I don't know. Well,
there we go.
If I see a performance,
my mom's very smart.
Mrs. Jensen's got it all figured out.
Yeah, look at that. Thank you.
I'm sure you can afford the third.
No, he was much nicer to you than he was to me.
Yeah, jeez.
Yeah,
he can't afford Crocs because he's got to go lose a bunch of money in Vegas this week.
Yeah, there exactly.
So I do think this is a game where this is the get right game, right? You've had 2.
Yeah, the Raiders' run offense is awful.
Yeah.
Yeah, but doesn't
like 30 seconds.
This is exactly who they need is us.
Well, exactly. The right team's coming to town. They're saying the same thing. It's a get-right game. The Packers are coming to town.
Yeah, Packers.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Josh Jacobs wasn't Josh Jacobs like the rushing leader last year? Wasn't he like the rushing champ?
He's licking his chops right now.
If there's any prop bet out there for Josh Jacobs over under 150
take
yards
it
rushing,
now.
take it.
I'm doing it right now.
Yeah, I do think, I mean, on the road, you got to get, I mean, hopefully you get, I don't know, maybe you get a fully healthy Aaron Jones, a fully healthy Christian Watson that they can play more snaps. I that's the thing. Yes, Ja comes back hopefully because he had his extra week off. I doubt Eric Stokes comes back. I feel like that seems just like
they'll hold on to the bye. I guarantee you.
Yeah, absolutely. And then Elton Jenkins, I honestly thought that was going to be an after bye situation for him. I think
he plays.
So I mean, after what you just saw last week, I don't know how you can't just say, hey, if you're good, can you not go? Like what? Put him out there. So if we can get some of these guys back, I don't know about Campbell. Is Campbell like that's a concussion, right? Or is that a
he was a knee?
He's
an ankle or a knee. It's an ankle. It's an ankle.
Ankle. All right. Well, I mean, maybe he's an after bye guy, but again, this is not a roster. I mean, obviously, you got to watch out for Max Crosby, Devontae Adams, big question mark. But what else is out there? I mean, Josh Jacobs, yes, but like, what else? I'm sorry, like, I'm not scared of this roster. So please tell me, if our roster is worse than theirs, because it's not, because we have all these first round picks on defense, like you said earlier, Matt, and yet, where's Rashawn Gary? We went pretty quiet. Where was Preston Smith? I honestly, and is this a good thing or not? What is with Preston Smith? I really don't know. We're paying him a lot of money, and I feel like I don't see him out there. Maybe he's getting pressures, but is he good in the run? Because I mean, from what we've seen, the run defense is pretty dog crap. So I'm just curious to know, do you guys know where Preston Smith is, or is he just kind of I've seen more from Lucas Van Ness than I have from Preston Smith.
He's probably quiet.
He is quiet 100%, but he's probably,
I mean, if he's quiet in a good
probably
way,
eating up whatever he can eat up and then letting the young guys go.
Well, I feel like his days of being like a really effective pass rusher are like gone, and he's
why
mostly
are we paying him?
Like an edge setter, and he's a veteran presence. He's got some to him, but I think this game, it's like I don't know what's going on with Devontae. Have they released anything on him in terms of his shoulder? People are saying it could be a AC joint, it could be a collarbone. I have no idea. But if he's not out there, man, I think this changes the whole dynamic of the game. And the Packers have been doing this that zone or that shell that's been kind of talked about more this week because of Joe Barry's comments. But if Devontae's not out there, get rid of the damn shell and load the box and, make, if it's not Jimmy G, the other guy, I don't even know the guy's name, make that dude beat you. But I don't know, like this game to me, it's like you're going into a bye week. You got a Raiders team that's flailing. They're 1-3. They're kind of a shit show. Like nothing's really going right for them. Players are pissed off. People are yelling at Mark Davis walking by him, telling him to fire Josh McDaniels on the sideline. I mean, things aren't going well there at all. But I wish I could say that the Packers were humming, and they're not. They're kind of coming in a little bit limping here. And I think we need to see them start faster. I think, and you're going against a team that you probably can start faster against. So, what do you have to do differently to get the offense moving a little bit quicker? We saw last week, as we just mentioned, they come out 6 consecutive passes and they have to punt, twice as a result. To me, I'm trying to get that ground game going immediately. I'm run, and I'm trying to establish Aaron Jones and making it an Aaron Jones game. Because if you can go into that game and get a W, and you're 3-2 coming out of the bye, like you're looking pretty good considering the schedule you have coming up. But sitting 2-3, I don't know. And I battle whether the record really even matters this year. But I think because we've all seen a little bit something more out of Green Bay, we've kind of tweaked our expectations a little bit. But I don't know, man. I just feel like this is a game where you got beat up pretty good against a division rival. Go beat somebody else up, kick a man while he's down, while the Raiders are down, and go in there and get the business done.
Yeah, and honestly, True North's comment there, if it's going to be a complete game, it's not because of injury, in my opinion. I think it's going to be Matt LaFleur and his demise, because honestly, he doesn't use him. That's the thing. A complete game, I would love to see him play a complete quarter. Like, I don't ever see him play like what? Why does every good back in the league get their touches but ours? I'm just confused.
I don't know. And if you're not going to use Aaron Jones and you're so paranoid about him getting hurt all the time, we got to save him for this and that. Well, then just move on and go find somebody who is durable. I mean, for the love of God, I just think they should just give him the ball. And if he runs out of gas, he runs out of gas. But ride that man. He wants the ball. He wants to be good. Just try it out. Just try it out, Matt.
And what are you saving him for? The playoffs?
Exactly.
I'm sorry. Why are we thinking about playoffs when we should just be thinking about winning a game? That week, win that game. The next week, win that game. Well, then we'll figure it out at the end. If you got enough of those wins, get in. If you don't, see you later, Jones, or restructure contract Jones, or we're gonna draft a new guy. I don't care, but figure it out then. I don't know why this is like we're saving him. We're trying to protect his legs, and why? You keep running out AJ Dillon. You're like, oh, we've got to really use his legs because he's got what? Tree trunks? Well, his tree trunks suck, and he doesn't get anywhere with them, and he just falls half a yard to get a yard. So,
did I see?
He's got straight tree trunks that are rooted deep into the ground. They ain't going nowhere. I don't understand. Maybe there's something deeper that we don't know about, boys, but like, this has been a chronic thing from all the way back to McCarthy. Of unusing Aaron Jones. So is there something that maybe we don't like? Because listen, one season, one game, 1 week, I can get it, right? You know, there's maybe some things I can come up with, some excuses. We're saving him, we're getting close to the playoffs. He's not quite healthy yet. Blah 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 blah. But we're going on like, what is he on year 7 maybe of like, this is like a chronic thing where we don't play him. And then we'll have 1 week where we give him the ball a ton, and then we don't touch him again for like 3 weeks, and then we like go back into it. So I'm wondering, is there something we just don't have any idea about? And this is me trying to take the optimistic Packer fan side of the situation, because I can't quite figure it out, because I think everybody in the organization, everybody on this podcast, and everybody that has ever worn a Green Bay Packer hat, shirt, pants, shoes, whatever, knows that Aaron Jones is the most electric player on that football team. And yet we rarely ever use him. So going into Vegas, it being a long week, I'm not sure this is going to happen for sure, but I would hope that we're going to see that game, right? Where LaFleur's like, I'm just going to give him the ball 30 times and we're going to figure it out. You know, but the problem with that is he will. I truly believe that's what's going to happen. He's going to get probably 25 to 30 touches. The problem with that is he's going to get that. And then the next week, he's going to have 4 touches. And we're all going to be like, what is going on? Why?
It's like, the defense is going to adjust. We got to give the ball to AJ Dillon now. It's like, no, you don't. Just come on.
That's why I don't buy a 33 jersey, because I'm not going to see him on the field enough to make it warrant the $70.
100%. But here's the other thing too that I have a question about.
$80. I don't know. I'm there.
Why do we keep resigning him then?
100. God dang.
Why do you keep resigning a guy when you're too afraid to play him?
He's got good heart. He's got good character.
Cool, bro. Like,
he's a yes sir, no sir guy.
I'll give you yes sirs, hearts, and whatever you need, man. Like, are you kidding me? Like, how does that make any sense? That's why they're so confusing to me, because you have like one half, it's like we re-sign the guy. We love the guy. We talk about him all the time. We give him these opportunities.
To say that he's going to be the focal point.
And then like the next week you give him 5 touches. And he's injured for 2 weeks. It's like, what? I just don't get it.
The crazy thing about him is, like, I don't know about you guys, but I always feel like he takes huge hits all the time and he pops right up. But when he gets hurt, when he gets hurt, it's when he's running away from guys on a 60-yard touchdown. It's like, damn. Like, oh, God.
He might just be one of those like freaky athlete guys that just gets like chronically injured.
Matthew, can you pose your question from the text chat about athletes?
Which one was it again?
No, it's a super fair question.
It's a very fair question. Should I pull it up?
Yeah, you had to drag memory here.
All right. Well, all right. So, I'd love to hear from the sports PT why guys with 3% body fat have muscles tuned to the 10th degree suffer so many hamstring injuries.
Seriously, what is going on? And it's not just at the whole league.
It's the whole right. I'm not a pro athlete,
my only answer to that, and I can only say this because I feel like I see it.
Bananas,
on a
not enough bananas.
Well, maybe it's bananas, but I see it on a regular basis. I talk to their dads about this all the time when I watch like Ethan's varsity team. Dudes are built completely different than we were ever built when we were in high school. Listen, There was one guy that was built like an absolute shit. I mean, there was a lot of guys that were built on my football team. I'm going to give props to a lot of them, and Blaine will attest to this if he's still in here. There was one or two. Timmy McCarthy was built like an absolute shit show. I mean, he was built like a real man, like well before any of us even hit puberty. And now you look at these varsity football teams, 40, 50, 60% of the guys are built like this. It makes absolutely no sense.
Yeah.
And I also say that, and I can say this because I talk to the coaches at North all the time. I mean, they go down to Wisconsin, University of Wisconsin, and they talk to, these coaches about conditioning and weight training, and start these kids on these types of regimens at 4th, 5th, 6th grade. So I feel like there has to be something through the line, right? That eventually gets to this point where like they're almost too fast, too powerful for their own muscles to even like be able to work their body. And their hamstrings are like these they're so usable and so flexible and so whatever, but these guys are so redunculously fast and built. They're like, you got guys that are like 270 running 4.2s. That's not right.
I think the confusing part to me is the science and all this. To your point, is like
Absolutely.
all the thought that goes into strength and conditioning. I think it's ever been more of an emphasis than it is now. I mean, down to the diets. These guys are on regimented diets. They know exactly what they're putting in their bodies, when they're putting it in them, how much you need to be doing. Like all this stuff is so regimented, but they just are chronically having muscle fatigue injuries.
Our bodies are not temples yet. Here we are. We're not pulling hammies, but again, we're not running 4.3 speed.
You know who didn't have hamstring problems?
Amon Green.
Who?
This guy.
Yeah, none of those dudes did.
Those
guys went home and worked in factories in the summer and sold cars and shit.
Cigarettes on the field, baby.
He had a steady diet of cigars, vodka, and cheeseburgers.
Well, I need to go back to that.
I will say though, Dorsey Levens, Amon Green, I didn't ever see injuries out of them. It was just more fumbling issues out of those, guys. But
even hamstrings and ACLs.
But it's also like, I think another thing, and I think a lot of the older dudes in the chat here will agree with me, is when you look at like 60s, 70s, 80s, and even in the 90s, like you played through injuries because you did not, like, you take 2 seconds.
Have game check, man.
You're out. Like, I'm sorry. Where guys now, they make so much money. They have so much ability to be like, I have a hamstring problem. I'm going to be out for a couple of weeks. And I'm not saying these guys don't want to play the game, because that's not fair. But what I am saying is the slightest tweaks of their pinky toe of their foot, they can all of a sudden be like, I'm going to sit this week out. I also agree with this. Bring back cocaine. Cocaine always makes things.
It is crazy though, because you had what 3 days? You had 2-a-day practices back in the day, and those guys were all. I mean, they were still.
We didn't have the supplements they did. I didn't have a trainer. We didn't have a nutritionist on our team.
That's why it makes no sense. They have all, and they're more injured than they ever been. Like, I don't get it.
It's because they're
coddled. Maybe it's not that great.
Exactly. It's almost like they need to be thrown into the fire and just get hit all the time, because then their body, it's like almost getting calluses, right? Like,
absolutely.
Then,
I agree with that.
Like, yeah. So, well,
I mean, I remember the days where like,
what do we know?
You'd chug a bunch of water,
just
eat a couple orange slices, and like snort a no-dos and be like, let's go play football. Like, let's figure it out. Just saying.
Hey, Raiders though, is Devontae Adams going to the Panthers?
The Panthers?
Yeah, he would be.
I'm just saying. Looks like
they don't have a first-round pick.
They are in the hunt for a wide receiver. Apparently.
No.
What do you mean they don't have a first-round pick? They still have other first round.
I will guarantee you that there's Devontae. I mean, I guess it's ultimately up to the Raiders there, but like, I will guarantee you that Devontae will not accept any trade that is not him either going to like
Green Bay,
KC, Miami, Jets, something like that.
And if I'm the Panthers, I want to trade for a guy who's in his 30s, who's probably going to start to be on his way down. You want to pair him with a young dude. I thought immediately T. Higgins. That's who I thought right away. He's not going to be a Bengal anyway.
That's a future Packer right there.
Or him. Yeah, there you go.
I don't know.
Really quick, can we just touch on a couple of the teams around the NFL before we jump in even deeper with Las Vegas? Because I really, my favorite part about the NFL.
Are we going to get the crap on Broncos?
Well, of course. My favorite part about, which is so bad because I thought they were going to be better.
It's really just crap on Sean Payton too. But
I thought so. My favorite thing about the NFL is always like week 1 to like week, I don't know, maybe 7 or 8, right? Because it's such a cluster, right? There's so
Yeah.
much chaos right now.
Yeah.
There's absolutely no answer. Like I can maybe come up with like 1, 2, maybe 3 teams that I would say are like legit contenders, and maybe one of them is actually showing it this year. The other 2 are probably just defaulted in because of their past. But like Kansas City struggling against New York, Dallas looks super good, but Dallas always looks really good until like week 7 or 8. Buffalo looks weird, but then they kind of come back and play good. Miami looks super good, but Miami looked really good last year and then fell off. Could they fall off again? Cincinnati, absolutely atrocious.
What happened there?
Like
Yeah,
Denver,
that's a
like
conundrum.
I'm sorry. I thought last year would be a year. I understood that it was a first year for a lot of people. That team has so much talent on that roster. Coaching is absolutely atrocious. I mean,
Nathaniel Hackett's looking pretty good now, isn't he?
Dude,
yeah, the Chargers again, year what, 497
That guy needs to get
that
fired.
they have the most exciting roster and the greatest jerseys and they cannot win. And then you look at also lastly, I want to say Seattle, Geno Smith. Like what? Geno Smith is
Wow.
actually legit?
Look, your Appleton North could go beat the Giants right now. I'm just saying this.
I'm just
The
saying
Giants are
Geno
trash.
Smith. Geno Smith.
12
will be the last-
sacks, bro. 12 sacks.
I get it, but Geno Smith over the last calendar year has looked pretty.
He has.
Considering
I know,
who
it's
Geno
weird
Smith
to
was
say.
7 years ago,
You're right.
I'm just saying it's a really cool story. It's exciting to see. So like, there's just a lot of like, and like the Vikings, you know, like, I guess the Vikings are exactly what I thought they would be because their defense is trash. But there's just a lot of like weird kind of like, where's the cream gonna rise? Where's everything gonna go here? Because I definitely think there's something. But to your points about the Giants, did you have to give Danny Dimes all that money, dude?
That's what I'm saying. It's a dangerous time. It's a dangerous time to have a QB who's coming up on a contract and he has himself a nice year.
Yeah.
You have got to just know that guy is going to be the guy, because I don't care. There's no way anybody thinks Danny Dimes is the guy. And I never once thought
big time.
Well, I mean, that
time.
We've seen a lot of players in the NFL year after year have contract years, right? Where they dominate, they go and get their contract and they suck.
Well,
but that's a problem with the QB market.
I know, but was anybody like genuinely like, oh yeah, Danny Dimes just magically figured it out last year? No, he was sucked.
That's why to me it's a get 2 years. I need to see 2 years of it.
But
yeah,
would you rather have Geno Smith or Danny Dimes?
Who would I rather have? Geno Smith.
No. Time out. You're not putting Danny Dimes
serious.
on that roster. You're not putting Danny Dimes on that roster. If you could just start a franchise, who are you starting with? Geno Smith or Danny Dimes?
Okay, if I have to start a franchise with Geno Smith or Danny Dimes, I'm going to go buy an NBA franchise.
Then I'm just not going to do it.
You don't even have that kind of money. Stop.
I'm out. I'm not doing it.
But that's the problem, guys. You know, there's, I don't know who coined the phrase, but there's no middle class market for QBs. It's just like you just got to pay the guy salary cap bricking amount of money.
Russell Wilson or Danny Dimes?
God. I'd probably say Russell just because he's got a ring.
You must be out of your damn mind. You're telling me you're going to take Russell Wilson right now over Danny Dimes?
Like Danny Dimes has somehow separated himself? Not even good.
He has no offensive line.
The only reason that I would maybe lean towards Danny over Russell is because I wouldn't want to deal with Russell's bullshit.
Yeah.
I think that would annoy the hell out of me. Like, and I like that Sean Payton's like, shut your mouth, stop kissing babies. I appreciate the fact that he called him out on that.
He did, yeah. But Sean Payton's got a lot of egg in his face because you can't go in front of a microphone and say how awful Nathaniel Hackett was and then give up a 70 burger to a team. Like you just can't do that.
Okay, but you know what? Here's the thing: is I don't think that any one of us wouldn't have probably done the same thing. Because Nathaniel Hackett, listen, we all castrated Nathaniel Hackett.
We did, yeah. It looked bad.
And I think if anyone, right, Sean Payton has always been like a drug-induced weirdo. So like, there's no reason that he wouldn't go in front of the like. Would you want a coach that went out there and said, "Well, Nathaniel tried really hard. I just don't think he executed. But I'm gonna come in. I'm gonna come here.
Say anything about a guy.
Just like I'm here for a reason. You can fill the rest in.
About Mike McCarthy and the Cardinals game.
Nobody should have.
You're right. You're right. You know what he should have said is, "I'm going to use Aaron Jones, unlike Mike McCarthy."
Hey,
oh wait, shocker! I'm not.
43rd minute here, 44th minute here. So let's talk about this because I think this is a really, really, really good question. It's not a question, it's a statement, but I have the question behind it. Do you pay this guy?
Well, I mean,
No,
because that's coming up.
No.
Yeah.
Hey, by week 8, if we still have this only one victory,
what do you need by week 8 to solidify and actually
a $40 million contract?
Well, no. It's not gonna be 40 million because Green Bay's not stupid. I don't think. But what do you need by week 8? This is for both you guys and everybody in the chat. What do you guys need by week 8 from Jordan Love and the Packers, but more specifically Jordan Love, to feel confident in us like signing him to like a 4-year, it's an $80 million contract? We'll just throw a number out there.
What offensive line does he have?
Assume
whatever one the Packers have.
I
don't know.
I don't know. I mean, this is pretty
we don't.
dog
Well,
shit
okay, but if it's
last
4
week.
years from now, we might not have Aaron Jones. We might not have Bakhtiari. I mean, we don't know.
Okay, right. I'm
How
out.
confident are you in saying
I'm out.
we want him for the next 4 years?
I'm not there yet. I would.
So
this
what
might
do
be
you
a
need
Kirk
by
Cousins
week 8?
situation.
What do you need
Oh,
by week
okay.
8? Like how many? Like do you need 3 more wins and like
I need a
10
deep
to
ball.
2 touchdown interception ratio?
I need a deep ball. I need a better turf. I need also him to have a higher
Cold
completion
weather
per-
game.
I need him a higher completion percentage over 50%.
Yeah, I think he's actually done some stuff that I would have checked off. Like I think he looks confident, like he looks like he's got a handle on things, but just the game is, he's trying to catch up a little bit. But what I'd want to see is I need to see him come out and start faster. Like I can't be doing this, midway through the second quarter, third quarter, I'll start to light it up. Like you need to come out and start spinning the ball right away.
And a team
getting the
finally
going.
put up points when you couldn't put up points, and you're like, oh wait, I got to score 28. Not
yes.
10?
Now on the flip side, go to the Saints game down 17 zip. He leads the team back, looks really well. In the Falcons game, if it wasn't for a total collapse in the fourth quarter, it had maybe his best quarter of its career in the third quarter of that game. So he's got these pieces where you do see like, oh, they could do this. But I guess maybe to put a bow on it, consistency, do that for 2 or 4 quarters or 3 quarters, not just one.
Okay.
Blaine, you're better than that. That was a really lazy answer because we all could say consistency. I want to see like I'm talking more in the sense of like what little bit more we're like Iowa Joe was at, right? How many more wins are we looking at? How many like 300 plus games are we looking at? And what is a TD to interception ratio? Like what do you need to see from him that shows I'm okay with taking the next 4 years? Like I'm not saying he's not going to just all of a sudden become the great one.
Yeah.
But like what gives you the confidence of, let's say they pull a trigger and they sign him for the next 4 years? You're like, good, we're gonna see progression here. I feel confident with this.
Do you guys? I feel like right now he's not becoming the the check down whore where bad QBs just drop their eyes immediately and just drop. Like he's not doing that. He's actually attacking the field. He's just got to get the ball to the guys.
And
I
accurately.
Love that. Well, okay, but that's my thing is that I actually like the fact that he's willing to throw the ball a little bit. And kind of dish it. And you're right. Maybe not tons of deep, long balls. We haven't had like the long ball guy, Christian Watson, I guess. But I do like the fact that he's not just like Kyle Orton, right? He's not just like, oh, I'm just going to throw a bunch of 5 and ins, 5 and outs, just a bunch of little slants, check downs. Like he wants to progress. He wants to not progress. He wants to advance the ball down the field very much. And I like that aggression and I like that confidence in him. That makes me feel like all the other stuff. I mean, let's be honest. This is what week 4 of his first ever full year as a starter. Like we have to bring back what we want to happen and realize where his expectations and what his goals are probably. And I think if we get to week 8 and we've got a couple wins, we're going to have probably more losses, but all of a sudden we're looking at like,
well, look at coming out of the bye
yards and a couple, double digit touchdown versus maybe not double digit interception. I'm okay with that.
Yeah. And coming out of the bye, you got Broncos, Vikings, Rams, Steelers.
Hey, Rams are no pushover right now. Rams are good.
No, Rams are playing well, but the Steelers haven't played well. The Broncos have been terrible. I couldn't care less about them.
Sheesh. Hey, so, if we go, let's just say we get under 5 wins.
Like total this year?
Under 5 wins total this year. We're giving him another year, right? Right? That's a yes.
It's a 2 year. 2 years.
Yeah.
2 years.
So let's just say we have another year of under 5 wins.
That's it.
Caleb Williams comes out.
We're not getting the sip of him. The Bears are going to ruin him first.
He's not coming
out.
He
ain't going to the Bears.
He's not even going to come out. I think he's going to stay in college.
if the Bears have the number 1, he ain't coming out.
He ain't coming out.
I wouldn't.
His
either. That's
dad
gonna
straight
ruin
up
you.
said it. Like his dad was like, "No, it's not happening." And I think his list was like the only team that would be considered that does scare me is the Vikings. He put them on his list.
Well, because Justin Jefferson's in.
He already has a list.
Yeah, he's got and most of his list was like not like they weren't sniffing the number 1 pick. The Vikings, where they've started, could potentially sniff it, especially
if they trade Kirk Cousins this year.
Right. They just said if they punt the rest of the season and take him out, it's absolutely true. And he would get back with Jordan Addison, Justin Jefferson. So
J-Jets.
But here's the other thing is I talked to somebody else this week. And we kind of dove into Caleb Williams and he's and neither right nor wrong, but I'm not completely sold that he's the guy.
He had a lot of missed throws in that Colorado game. I watched that.
And let's be realistic. Like, what is he running with, and what's that offense look like? And
everybody that plays under Lincoln Riley looks like a phenom. So
and a decent amount of them have been pretty successful, but not long term successful.
He kind of looks like a bigger version of Kyler Murray.
Okay, and Iowa Joe, you said what I've been saying for a while. I'm not convinced that Justin Jefferson inks a long-term deal in Minnesota. I'm just not convinced of it. I'm not convinced of it. I don't know, man. His body language, the way he's talked about it. I mean, and if you don't have a QB there, you're really gonna go drop $100 million.
I'm gonna say this right now on the podcast. If Justin Jefferson signs with the Green Bay Packers, I will get.
Is it bigger than Dame time?
This big on my body of Justin Jefferson.
I think the Vikings would rather bankrupt their own team than let him sign here.
They don't have a choice. They don't got a choice, boys. If he goes into free agency, you don't think he's gonna go running after Patrick?
They would tag him, wouldn't they? There's no way they're gonna just let him walk. I'll tag him as long as we can.
Unless like Jordan Love becomes a beast, and Jordan Love
isn't that like 20-some mil? Hey, Iowa Joe, how much is it a year to tag a receiver? 25? That's a lot of money.
And you can only do it 2 years, right?
Yeah.
And it goes up every year.
Yeah.
Sheesh. Okay.
Sheesh. Come on.
The Broncos, though. I just want to say one last thing,
dude. Charlie's trying.
I want to say, I kind of wanted to see them lose to the Bears because I did really want to see what the Sean Payton would look like at 0-4, but it didn't happen, so it's okay.
Yeah, 19 the Bears million? Tried. They really tried.
19 mil. Okay, you're paying 19 mil 2 years.
Did you guys see the reel or whatever of South Park with the Cripple Bowl or whatever it was, and then they kept showing the Denver and Chicago game?
I can only imagine.
That's funny. Dude.
Did anybody see that Toy Story coverage?
I did. I texted you like 14 times and asked you if your son was watching it, and you didn't answer me. So that's
I was sleeping. I worked that weekend, so I was.
So you don't spend time with your kid and watch football.
Here's the thing.
I was sleeping.
I didn't watch it, but was it like real time or was it like on a delay?
Yes.
Is it like?
Yeah.
That's
it was minorly delayed. I mean,
and they had a lot of.
I didn't have them up. I didn't have them up next to each other, but like I would say from what I was getting on my phone, like via like fantasy stuff, to what I was watching, it was pretty close. About as close as you're gonna get, and it was super interesting. I mean, it was the first time that I've ever seen Charlie like plop in front of the TV and like watch a full quarter. Like he was super enamored, and it was cool. They had like the crane, like from Toy Story. It was like what would bring the ball and put it down. They had a crane like holding one of the little alien guys with a camera, acting like the sky cam, and they just had like all these little nuggets in there that were like pretty good. So big props to them on that. I thought that was a super smart idea, and I bet they probably got a ton of kids to probably actually enjoy it. I will say that the NFL did fail mightily and continues to fail mightily.
What?
Taylor Swift.
Bro, look how many people you've gotten into the game, though.
I don't care, bro. I don't need those people. I don't need Swifties at the game. I need Packer fans at the game. I don't need Swifties at the game.
What would you rather have? Hey, what would you have? Brittany Mahomes or Taylor Swift?
T-Swift.
Patrick Mahomes.
Okay, you don't get Patrick Mahomes. He's already in the NFL. Hey, would you rather have
what? Like go to the game?
I'm just saying. No. I'm saying you hate how there's too many Swifties.
To date or
no, not to date. I'm just saying. Would you rather have all this?
I'll answer your question.
I got your drama,
question.
Or would you rather have her brother?
Okay, I got you.
I got Brittany Mahomes because she's not going to bring a bunch of fake ass friends and fans.
But if she's package
Blake Lively,
deals,
Blake Lively and
she-
Ryan Reynolds, you're calling them fake friends?
bro, Brittany Mahomes could bring those.
You better not say that about Ryan Reynolds. And then
I love
Hugh
Ryan Reynolds. Don't come
Jackman.
at me.
Wolverine, baby. Hey, okay, this is a little off the wall because
you went a
we
little
didn't bring it up, and I just thought about it. You guys were at the last two games. There was no flyover, right? We didn't have a flyover.
there was
No,
no
we didn't.
flyover for 3 straight.
We did.
games.
We
No, we
Delta
did. The Saints
Airlines-
game.
No,
The Saints
Delta
game.
Airlines
It was a Delta. Yeah. Okay. So we talk about that. We talk about that. There was a flight taking off from Lambeau Field that was going to
just happened
Minneapolis
over the
to
game,
did a connection to New York, and it did a flyover over Lambeau Field. And I was like, "What that? What was that?"
I took a buddy of mine that I work with. His dream has always been a pilot. He trained to be a pilot for a while. Whatever, big airplane guy. And initially, it was supposed to be 2 Blue Angels. Then it switched to like some military thing, right? And so like. He was giddy, super excited about it. And fucking that plane flies over, and I look at him and I'm like trying to see if he's excited, and he's just kind of like. and then you guys texted me, and I'm like, I looked at him and I'm like, American Airlines.
I was like, was that intentional? Do they mean it? Do they mean it?
I don't know, man. But like,
usually they keep the domestic flights away from Lambeau, but that one.
This is 2 blunders. First off,
might as well fly a drone over. Just
exactly.
That's what I really thought. It was so quiet. But you did that blunder, Green Bay, and then you've also you've overused the jump around. You need to stop. You really need to stop with the jump around like every other 5 minutes. And then third blunder is having Lil Wayne run out of the field on where he looks like he's about to get ran over by.
Dude, all those pictures that they posted look fake. It looks like he literally got photoshopped in front of those players. I'm like, dude, that's not real, dude.
And is it cool if he comes out of your tunnel and the week before was another team's tunnel? Because didn't he come out for some other team?
He was
in Colorado. That's what it
like
was.
A week ago. Yeah.
And they got beat. Paid for the damn flyovers.
I don't know, man.
I want to be that. I want to be Lil Wayne famous, where people are just like, "I'm going to pay you $100,000 just run our tunnel and scream
$100,000
that nobody can hear."
I'm pretty sure he paid them.
He probably did.
I guarantee the Packers probably paid him.
We have a couple minutes left. Can we please talk about all the blue that was Lambeau Field? I have said many times on this show that the gold package needs to go away because all they do is sell their tickets.
Mouth, Jeff is in this chat. Jeff, we just met Jeff.
Okay, not all of them, but dude, if you have tickets, it's your duty to make sure they don't land in the other team's hands, and that goes for green package too. Because I know people personally that get their season tickets and they call up Ticketmaster and they sell their shit right away, and then you don't know who's buying it. So we got to be better as a fan base.
Here's the thing. You're never going to win that battle. I love you, but you're never going to win that battle. It does suck. The Milwaukee thing is weird because I do agree with you for a good portion of that.
The Thursday night screw, I get it.
I also remember a life where that was a big deal going down to Milwaukee, and I like it. The problem is that generation's gone. Like it's not there anymore. And the people that's
why they should get rid of them.
Absolutely. And that's why I'm with you on this now. I wasn't for a very long time, but I am now there where it's like, okay, the generation that probably inherited those tickets from their uncles, their dads, whatever, they weren't around when the games were going on in Milwaukee. So they don't understand the situation. So they're probably some because they don't give a shit. So yes, I do think that should be done. It was insane seeing how many freaking Lions fans there were there. I thought it was disgusting. Can we get predictions? What are you laughing about, Gingle?
What if they had a Taylor Swift camp? Like if it was just like a cast?
They do.
Literally all they do, dude.
It's my god. Anyway,
the fact that you're about this makes me.
Dude, the NFL.
I didn't say I was about this. I just said
the NFL Instagram changed their cover photo to Taylor Swift,
and it literally said the Chiefs are 2-0 since becoming Swifties. I'm like, what is happening?
Bro, the NFL has completely lost their shit. Okay.
Predictions, Matthew, go ahead.
Okay, I don't know, man. The Raiders are in the toilet right now. The Packers are, trying not to go into the toilet after that performance against the Lions. I want to say that I don't know, man. I feel like the Packers are getting healthy, getting some guys back this week, some key players. Hopefully, Ja's in. I like to see Jenkins out there. Not expecting to see Stokes yet, but enough of a reinforcement to make me pick up the confidence a little bit going to this game. I think the Packers find the end zone a little bit more than they had the last couple of weeks. So I'm just going to go a nice score of 28-14. Just no field goals, bunch of touchdowns. There you go.
Like a Fred
Packers
score.
Score.
All right. Freddie?
No, I think that we will very much have a bounce back game. I think, like I said earlier, I
Oh.
think Aaron Jones is going to get used a lot.
Get ready
I
for it,
think that the
folks.
defense with the Raiders is not anything that I'm super afraid of. I do think Max Crosby is an absolute machine. He's one of the top 3 guys on the edge, without a doubt. I think he'll cause some disrupt, but I do feel like with the long pause here from the Thursday to Monday night, it's a big deal for us, not only getting people healthy, but maybe game planning as well. I would like to see, I think LaFleur is I'm not going to say it's on the hot seat because he's not on the hot seat, but I do think he's feeling a little heat on the bum there. And I think he's got to make a pretty big statement game, in a Monday night game against the Raiders will be a big deal. So I'm going to go a little bit higher. I do feel confident in this offense, and I'm going to go 34-21 Packers.
There we go. Hey, the last time we played the Raiders was the last time we heard all gas, no brakes. So maybe they could bring that out every 4 years.
Oh, hey,
use
good
that.
call, man.
Let's go.
Good call. What kind of stupid crap do you have, Sanjay?
Monday night.
Are you gonna I swear to God, if you pick us to lose, I'm just ending the broadcast.
He's gonna be there. He better not.
Yeah, that's true. You can't.
You can't go and then
Who's playing quarterback?
Jordan Love, dumbass.
No, on their team.
Who gives a shit? It's our team.
If Jimmy Garoppolo.
Okay, yeah, all right, he's already been in Vegas. He's done.
If Jimmy Garoppolo plays, I think we lose the game.
Hey,
but
who's the quarterback of the Carolina Panthers, pal? You just said Jimmy Graham.
Don't talk about me.
Raiders. You just said Jimmy Graham is the quarterback of the Raiders. Matt, mark that down.
Oh, that's written down. I got a pen right here.
Like Kyle Trask, like whatever he said before. Like, you didn't even know Kyle Allen.
Kyle Allen.
I have us winning this game if it's Aiden O'Connell.
Thank
God.
Okay,
If it's Jimmy.
Can you no, you gotta make one prediction.
All right. Aiden O'Connell. I'm going Packers win.
With Jimmy
Raiders,
G.
Packers. I pick us to win 31-17. I think Jordan
you.
Love does get a bounce back game. I do think Aaron Jones, maybe he does get 30 touches. I don't know.
Should.
That is going to do it for us, folks. Thank you so much for joining us once again on an 8 o'clock on a Tuesday. Hopefully, we come back with the vengeance. I will be there. Hopefully, repping the green and gold, proud and true, I guess. I don't know.
Are you going to be on the show next week from Vegas, or are you going to be here?
What's going on there?
Oh no, my flight's on Tuesday, guys. So I'm not gonna be. Yeah. What do you want?
Okay,
what do you want me to do?
How do you go to a away game and then you can't make the show? Come on, son.
Okay. Well, you know what? All right.
It's fine. We got a
Thank
couple.
you so much again. We really appreciate all the love and support we get from every one of you. Come join us again next week. Matt and Fred will be here for you guys. Break down the big W, hopefully, and get us into the bye week with a W. Right, 3-2. Right, 3-2.
Yep.
Let's get 3-2.
Good.
With that being said, that's Matt. That's Fred. And like always, go
Pack, go baby. Let's go.